Hello, we are now 18 partners behind Skillicon, behind this startup. We invite you to join to a very ambitious app. We had our first success with our beta version. Now we invite you to join so that together take a skill icon to its final version for a global impact. And after this deck, we can have personal conversations, meetings to go deep into your questions. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, let's get started. There's no a global platform where billions of people may share and validate all their skills. There are thousands of institutions and people around the world who validates knowledge or validate some skills, but none of them in a global way of perspective or even in a democratic approach. This is when Skill Icon appears. It's the first app to validate skills, to take billions of people around the world to have fun, showing their skills, discovering new skills, improving the ones they have, and even living from them. In its origin, the goal of Skill Icon is democratize skills. And what does it make social media apps the businesses with the most users in the world and beyond even the largest retailers like, for example, Walmart or Amazon? Is validation. Something really so hard to explain. But at the end, validation is one of the most historical and emotional needs that human beings have been chasing their whole life. And these businesses, even they don't deliver specific or tangible products, but they deliver validation. And Skill Icon is the first app focused on validating people's skills through rating. And the potential market is 1 billion people worldwide in, let's say, 5 to 6 years. But the first 2 years, the focus is reaching more than 20 millions in 2 years from 15 and 28 years old. That's the target. And what's the problem that Skill Icon solves? Our users, in their own words, they say Skill Icon gives unbiased validation of people's skills. That's the problem we solve. It means a bunch of unknown people all over the world rating your skills, my skills, with specific scores from 1 to 10 for specific predefined skills for each activity. How to use it? It's pretty easy. User just download the app in their Apple or Play stores, then they post videos showing their skills, and then they will receive ratings from 1 to 10 for each skill by users that they even don't know worldwide. The good thing here is that users don't have to create or invent those skills. That's our job. Our job is researching, defining, identifying and defining those skills and make them available for users. So the user, the only thing that has to do is just rate those skills. And not only all the skills the user wants or the user feels comfortable rating. Now we have 17 activities with very specific skills so that users can have a detailed rating and more than 120 activities for general rating. But in the future, in 1 or 2 years, we should reach thousands of activities with specific skills available for users. And something that is really rational, I mean, rating skills, we make it entertaining. With a show window where people show all their skills, then there's a home where you can follow the activities of your contacts. We have contests too, where people can just compete against other users, trends with the top ratings, the top votings, rankings with the best scores, and also very easy to use. You could rate just a general evaluation, or you could rate in specific skills. And if you don't know the meaning of a skill or how to rate a skill, you can click on the help button and you will see the description of each skill explaining how to rate that skill. And we have something very innovative, that is the different types of likes. And those type of likes will help us not only to say, hey, I like it too much, but how much does it like you, right? So it will help us to see popularity, right? And it can be used in a bunch of situations in a very regular day, a football match, after a game, when you are at home just rating and watching videos with some people with skills, in the neighborhood, poor people who doesn't have access to skill hunters or head hunters, etc. There are a bunch of situations in which skill hiking can be. It's just for whole life. It's for all activities, human activities, and where you show any skill, any ability. First 3 years, we're focusing on only sports, arts, and entertaining activities. Why? There are several explanations, but the most important is because those activities are more massive, and it's easier for people to rate on those activities. Every time that you see a football, a baseball match, a cricket match, or whatever, you think you are the coach of those guys. So when you go to the cinema and you watch a movie and you just criticize the actor, the actress, and you think, oh, it's bad acting, is good at acting, etc. And you think you know what are the skills the actor or actress need to have, etc. It's easier for people. It's like organic evaluating those types of activities. So this is our focus first 3 years. Later, organically, we will be adding other activities more related to professions, but still the world is not prepared for that kind of detailed evaluation, okay? So it will be in 5 or 10 or 7 years, more or less, of how skill icon works with real users. I recommend you watching this video. You will receive or have access to the link. And of course, also you could just download the app and use it. It's available in your Apple Play Store for it. You could also use it, right? Our first success was in the US. It was like a year ago, more or less, when the beta version was still in construction. We had a survey in the US. We received very powerful feedback from users. More than 500 people across the US told us that they liked it too much, the idea of having a social media app only or focused on skills. They loved it. Some of them even say, finally, there's kind of an Instagram for skills. Great. Then here in Chile, we have a second one. Still, the app was in construction. We launched kind of a simulation how it could work. And with only $1,000, we received 1,000 users who rate football players here in Chile, and also received very good comments. And the most important success we have had till now is that with our beta version, we have proved the most important value hypothesis of the app, that is, people all over the world want to show their talent and be rated. More than 30,000 app installs, more than 12,000 users, about 1,500 active users each week, almost 300 active users per day. And from those users, close to 2,000 people were validated early adopters. It means people who uploaded their videos showing their skills, rating other people, asking rating from others. We received 1,300 videos, more than 3,000 evaluations, and very close to 9 1,000 requests for evaluations, and we have received hundreds and even thousands messages directly from our users telling us their dreams, how much they like the app, also reporting problems, but it means we have tractions. All of these messages with just a beta version means we have traction. In the stage we have just finished a couple of months ago with beta version, our users love it. You have to see this 8 minutes video. You will have access to that video too. You have to see the brief with comments from with users from 5 countries, 7 users who tell us, and you will see. You by yourself will see what's the potential of a skill icon. We invite you to watch the video. And now we know exactly what is the final product that our users want. We have the interviews with each of those users, with 7 users from 5 countries. For you guys who are at the end interested, we could give you access to those interviews, not only with the things that they say that is awesome about Skill Icon, but also what's the secret behind Skill Icon and what are the things that we have to give them so that it becomes an international and global success. And what about the business model? The app is free for users, and the money will come from companies will pay for posting, advertising, and the payment, it could be just cents or dollars per click. It will depend on the type of advertising, on the location, on the level of segmentation. We estimate that 95% of our incomes will come from that source. The other 5% will come from skill hunters. Those people who represent other companies and are looking for talents worldwide. And they will pay a monthly fee for having access to our database and watch the users. But something that is new also that you don't know is that we will have another functionality or another version for users who want to be hunted by skill hunters. That's something we could explain later. What makes us different, first of all, is global validation of skills. One of the most remarkable differences that our users told us, they said the fact that I could have or receive rating from people who I don't know from different countries is the best and the highest level of validation. Another difference, the multiplicity of predefined skills. Users don't have to create or invent their skills. The other social media apps don't have those predefined skills. We have them. Third, the learning and progress options, because after rated, people could see what are the things they have to improve. And finally, highlight talent. What does it mean? In the other social media apps, some few people get famous, right? In Instagram, some others in YouTube, others in Facebook or TikTok. But because very few people catch the secret behind being famous or how to get famous, in the Skill Icon, we're not going to be passive about that. We're going to be very active, and we're going to take the talent to make money. People will just have to show their talent. That's it. We will be in charge of highlight and make available for skill hunters worldwide. That's one of the top differences too. But the competition landscape, we are creating and owning our own social media category. It's skill rating and shading. We're not going to replace other social media apps. We are a complementary competitor. People will still or continue using the other apps, but those guys who wants to share their talents or even just watch the talents of others will use Skill Icon as a complementary platform. There are too many things to analyze and discuss about the competition. It's really a large conversation that we could go deep if you are interested later. Skill Icon is a startup, but we have organized this startup as a project in 6 stages. We have just finished the first 3 stages. The last one was the stage 3. We have finished the last month in January. And the first stage was about 16 months. Those 16 months were a bunch of work analysis, analyzing and understanding the world of social media apps. Why social media apps get successful? Why social media apps, some others have failed? What are the mistakes? What are the tricks? What are the clues behind social media? So those months were specifically to analyze, understand, and to define and plan the skill icon app in detail. At the end of that stage, we create a PowerPoint with more than 300 slides explaining in detail the buttons, the windows, the functions that we have that has. Of course, after doing all these analysis and benchmark considering the other social media apps. So it was a bunch of work. We finished that stage. Then we finished the second one, that was more or less 12 months of work, developing the beta version or MVP. The ones who are used to this concept of MVP understand that it's different from beta version, but just for a common language, let's say it is a beta version, right? So we built the beta version, and when we finished in June 2020, we launched that beta version, that MVP, and we make it available in the market so that we could understand who were our early adopters and what was the value that the app offered to those early adopters. That was the beta version. We reached more than 12,000 users, 2,000 early adopters, and was a very successful result for that beta version. The stage 4 means just develop the final product considering the learning we receive and the feedback we received in the last stage. And that will mean 200,000 users, okay, and the first sale. In stage 5, after we have this final product, we go for a massive market launch. It means that we will have famous people from the US especially representing or be ambassadors representing the Skill Icon brand. There we will spend, I don't know, $500,000 just in advertising, and the objective is in 6 months reach 1 million users. Something important during that stage is that sales will start being continuous monthly with very, let's say, monthly incomes. Not good enough to say that it's self-sustained, but with increasing advertising paid by other companies, okay? Then goes stage 6, the app will be self-sustained. We estimate that in the month 18, more or less, we won't need more investment. The break-even point, basically. And at the end of the stage 6, the strategy has to go for the next level to reach the top social media apps worldwide. So the exit strategy is go to the stock market, okay, publicly, I mean. In the stage 3, first of all, we identify which are the activities and skills that the users wanted, at what age, what genders, what countries, what cities, even their social media behavior. We understood that, we identify all of those variables to understand who our early adopters were. That was our first success. And secondly, identify value for early adopters. Initially, before starting the stage 3, we had 5 hypotheses. And from those, we proved 2 of them. The most important hypothesis. The first one, that people want to share and post videos. And second hypothesis, that people want to receive evaluation from others, especially from unknown people, people they don't know. That's what they value the most. They don't want to be rated by their friends or family. That was one of the biggest discoveries we got during that stage. So with our beta version, we identify that skill icon gives and deliver value to its early adopters. People want to share and want to be rated in their skills. Then we have also another hypothesis about evaluations and frequency. I mean, one thing is receiving rating and other thing is rating others, right? So we had a partial validation of that. We need to make some adjustments to prove the hypothesis, but we could say that we partially prove it with this beta version because we discovered that when the content in the app improved, when there were videos with better content, people used to rate more with more frequency. The issue is that the beta version was not built to post massive amount of content and improve the content. So this is why we say that we could not fully prove those two hypotheses, the third one and fourth one, because we needed a final product to prove that. Okay, that's the only reason why. But we could say that partially proved because we analyzed and we discovered that when the content improved, also improved the amount of ratings and the frequency of use of the app. So we were very happy at the end because we could say that we finally proved those hypotheses too. What about virality? During this stage and considering the analytics and especially the feedback that we received from our users, we discovered virality is an hypothesis that we don't need to test, we don't need to prove. Not in our business. Let me tell you why. For Facebook and Instagram, virality was one of the most critical variables to handle or to manage. Why? Because Instagram and Facebook users, let's say one of their core motivations to use the app is to share the app with their friends, family, and the people they follow. But this is not the case of Skill Icon. So for an Instagram user or an Instagram or Facebook user, it is organic that they want to share the app with their friends and their family and tell them, hey, why don't you use Facebook or Instagram to post your pictures, your photos, or have you seen my pictures on my Instagram or Facebook, the last travel I had with my family, etc. Okay, watch those pictures, download the app and watch those pictures, etc. Okay, it's not the case of the Skill Icon. Skill Icon users' behavior is more close to TikTok or Snapchat. In those, especially in TikTok, people don't want to share TikTok, for example, with their friends or family. They just want to share likes or activities with unknown people. It's the same as Skill Icon. In Skill Icon, our users don't want to share the app with their family or friends because they don't want to be rated by family or friends. They want to show their talent to the world, to unknown people, and they want to be rated by unknown people. That's why virality is not a problem for us. As business, you cannot judge us for considering virality, okay? There are other studies. What we have to do is something pretty similar to what TikTok has been doing and Snapchat and other similar apps. First of all, we need to work with a bunch of content generation through our social media, that kind of content. Also, we need to make marketing campaigns too, using also some famous people as brands, representing the brand of the Skill Icon. And finally, something that is a little bit difficult to explain is, and is one of the best strategies to spread the Skill Icon, is the fact that users create videos with specific functions and buttons that only can be used in Skill Icon. And after creating those videos, we need to put the mark of that video so that when this person posts that video in other platforms, they are making free advertising for Skill Icon with the videos that they only could create through Skill Icon. That's one of the top or best strategies too, okay? But virality is no problem. So let's forget about virality, at least not for the stage 4 and 5, okay? And also, the other three things we have to do, and we finally do, we knew or we discovered what were the best organic channels for advertising or for just spreading marketing for Skill Icon. We also identified which were the KPIs that we need to handle. I mean, we identified what were the KPIs that we need to manage. However, the amount of the specific metrics, it's something that we didn't prove except for the cost, but that we didn't prove in this stage. And to be honest, we were not worried about this because we can prove it when we have a final product. Okay, so no, it's not a problem. But now we know the cost per each download of app install. That's the most important thing right now. In fact, with a better version, it's pretty hard to know specifically the metrics for those KPIs, except cost, because it's a better version, right? So in a better version, you cannot prove volume, for example, of users, right? So only when we have more volume of users, we can just identify the specific metrics for those KPIs. I mean, in conclusion, we finally identify the KPIs. However, the metrics is something that we need to finally prove in the next stage 4, okay? And of course, we develop and launch the MVP following the agile methodology, okay? Every 3 weeks, we develop small functionalities, we launch it, and every 3 weeks, we saw the results, positive feedback we receive from users, not only from analytics, but also from comments with the new functionalities that we launch every 3 weeks during those months that we had the app in the market. I mean, the last 6 months, let's say the last 6 months, more or less. What's next? The most important activity for stage 4 is develop the final product by far. Now we know what the users want to be the final product. It means migrate the app to a native language. Right now, it's the app, the beta version was developed in hybrid, and we need to migrate it to native language. In Android, native language, not iOS, because we discovered that 95% of our users use Android platforms. In stage 5, we also migrate the app for iOS native language, okay? But the focus of this stage, the 4th stage, is migrating the app, also optimize the database, optimize the IT infrastructure. This is really important because when people share videos, when they rate the maths behind the average and all of the things, plus the videos that people upload, plus the trends, plus the world ranking, all of the things consume and get a lot of IT services. So we need to optimize IT infrastructure services. We, in fact, right now we have all in the US, in Amazon, in AWS, but we will need to spread in different continents, okay? And develop the new required functions, those that we identify from the feedback from our users, this stage that we have just finished, okay? That's the top activity for the stage 4. Also, we need to do some marketing to capture marketing and social media content generation work and the videos created, as I've mentioned, right? To capture the first early adopters for our final product version. Then fine-tune the value for early adopters. It means just doing some adjustment after we have a final product. Also, finally identify not the success KPIs because we know them, but the metrics that will feed those KPIs. And at the end, get our first sale. When we reach 200,000 to 500,000 users segmented in one country, we will receive our first sale. Why we said in this slide that that first ad sale is partially done? Because we had a conversation with two top managers from two different sports companies, one in Brazil and one here in Chile, and they told us, Hermes, I cannot sign a contract now, but I tell you, when you have those users, I will be one of your customers. I will pay you for half my advertising in your app, because when we showed them the app and they saw the level of segmentation that Skill Icon offers is crazy. Imagine one of the biggest brands, the top brands, right? Let's say Nike or Adidas. If they want that all the people who is in any sport and has a rate or a score higher than 9, they want that all of those people, that all those people have their shoes. There's no platform that will give you that. So social media apps are one of the businesses that sell more advertising worldwide, because it's more segmented than even TV shows. When you launch an advertising on television, you don't know exactly who's behind that TV. Is a father, is a mother, is a guy, is a young guy. You think you know more or less who is behind that TV. But for social media apps, you know exactly who is behind. And not only exactly the demographic information, I mean the gender, age, or city, you also know their behavior. What is the things that they like? What are the things that they enjoy? In our case, what are the sports and activities they enjoy or focus on, the skills they have, the level of skills, the activities they like more, etc. Okay? So this is why I say this is not the problem, okay? Money will come. It's just an estimation. There are a bunch of myths about social media apps. We could discuss later that. I want to stop here a little bit and say that one of the top learnings that I had these 3 years working in Skill Icon and having so many conversations with so many people is that people don't understand social media businesses. People don't understand social media apps. The biggest myth is like the app was launched in the market, and after 3 or 6 months, voila, it exploded, and they got from nothing, from scratch, thousands and even millions of users. That's a myth, and that's a mistake. Something that has to be very clear, all of this, let's say, successful businesses that now were startups, and they were managed as startups. And it means that they have to follow this process of, in some cases, it's 4 stages, in other it's 6, in other 7. In our case, it's 6 stages. All of them have to walk this process of the stages. They have to put a beta version, an MVP version, a concept testing version in stage 2 or 3 or 4 in the market, taste it, try it. It is not that they just suddenly got famous, got successful. They have to try it in the market, understand it, adopters. One of the best examples is Instagram. Initially was an app for planning travels. And the option of sharing videos and pictures were very hidden. And even the name of Instagram was verbatim. So they just launched the beta version or their MVP version. They understood the market, analyzed the market, reached more money, developed their final product. They just changed the whole app, delete all of the functions, and put as the core function of the app sharing pictures and videos, especially pictures, change the name from verbatim to Instagram, have the final product, and after doing all of these things, they got famous. They got 1 million users in 3 months, okay? But after doing all of these things, it's pretty important to mention this because they have to pivot the app. The majority of startups have to pivot their products or their apps. It means changing the business model. But it's normal if an app has to pivot the product, okay? So I just want to stop to say we are on the right path. We're doing the right and following the right methodology. We are following the lean startup methodology. That's the methodology that makes that a startup has 50% of potential success. This is the team. We are four partners, that is Hermes, Andres, Nicolas, and Cesar Abarza, who are working and pushing the skill icon to take it to the next level. But we also have some direct employees, some other freelancers, and other 12 partners supporting us behind this, okay? And of course, support staff. Here are our CVs. You could take a look at these CVs in more detail in LinkedIn too. Yeah, here are the links. You could have access to those. Yeah, here is how we have spending the money and how we'll spend the money for stage 4, 5, and 6. Some mistake in the title. I need to highlight this. This is the regular product life cycle of most of the companies worldwide. Okay, 5 stages for a regular company. However, in the world of startups, we have an in-between stage. Is the MVP testing or beta product testing? Is the stage that is between development and introduction. And the meaning is that because what makes different a startup from a regular business is that a startup doesn't know who is its market, doesn't know what's the value its product delivers to its market. Regular companies, they do know that. Say the selling houses market, selling cars market, retail market, all of those industries, even the B2B, like mining companies, oil and gas companies, electricity companies, etc. What I mean is that all of these regular sectors and company has clear understanding of who are their customers, what are the needs those customers have, what is the value that their products and services deliver to their customers. They have clear understanding of that. The challenge they have is delivering those products in the best way at the right price with the right service. That's the challenge they have. For a startup, the first challenge a startup has is identify and discover who the early adopters are. And the second one is discover what's the value that its app delivers to its early adopters. If you as a startup don't understand that, the chances to fail are huge. Now we know who are our early adopters. Now we know what's the value that we give our early adopters. So the stage 3 for us is finished. Okay? Now what we need to do is create the final product with the learnings we received from the previous stage, create this final product and just do adjustments, preparing the app in its final version for the international, massive, spectacular launching, let's say, okay? Our focus is on early adopters. We are not chasing, or we're not gonna chase followers. Followers are the guys, are the users that are going to explode the app and make it really massive and a global app, right? But we are not chasing those guys. We're chasing the early adopters. I mean, the first guys that love the concept, they know the concept of a skill icon, of rating skills, showing skills, because those guys are the ones that will give us the kick to help us to go to the introduction phase where late early adopters and first followers match. We estimate that more or less the break-even point will be in the month 18 when we, after we have this final product, okay, in stage 6. More or less from that point and on, we won't need more investment, basically, okay? The app with the sales will operate by itself. It's more the same, just saying that for stage 4, we need $600,000 for that stage. And the company estimates value is about 3.5 or $6 million at the end of that stage. Now we have spent in the previous 3 stages more than $500,000. With that, we develop the app, got traction, got value, got understanding of who our early adopters are and the value that we deliver them. Now we are 18 partners in total, right? And now we are in the seed round, collecting to develop the final product and reach the first sale. These are the milestones. With that budget is reaching 200,000 users on the first sale. And to do that, we need to focus the investment in developing the final product for users, capture users for that final product, and reach the first sale. And as I mentioned, we know exactly what we need to do. The green circles is what we have already done. Easy. Just need to migrate that to this native language I mentioned before. The orange circles are the things that we need to develop that are already validated and discussed with the feedback of the users that we need to develop and that we know what more or less exactly means to develop. And the gray circles are things that we need to validate, or even with users or inside within the team itself. We are in this point thanks to the work of a whole team behind. And to go for the next stage, we need to keep growing the team. Let us know what's your interest in Skill Icon. For those guys that are interested in investing in Skill Icon, the minimum ticket is $10,000. For that, you will receive 0.2% of participation in the company in equity, in fact, till getting the $600,000 that we need. There are some specific, let's say, ownership percentages for each case. And if you want more than investing, want to support something else, or just perform a different role, or combine, you not only want to invest, but also want to be an ambassador or a sponsor or partner, etc., let us know, and the ownership will grow for you. So it's something that we need to discuss. Last year, this new social media app, Clubhouse, with only 1,500 users, was valued in $100 million. Last month, in fact, in January, with more than 2 million users, was valued in $1 billion. And something that I have to highlight is they didn't sell a pen. They are not selling a pen, and they don't know how they will sell any pen. What I mean is that they don't have clear understanding of their business model. They just know that the product is awesome, that the product will eventually reach millions of people worldwide, and after you have that, you will receive money, of course. The point is that we are on the path. And why now? This is the perfect moment of social media apps for the Skill Icon. In 2004, Facebook democratized people and connections between people. Then in 2005, YouTube democratized videos, long and large videos and processes behind people. In 2011, Instagram democratized the validation of success, the validation of results. Then TikTok, 4 years ago, democratized the validation of activities behind those results. And now we are democratizing the skills behind the activities. We are in the path. Bonus track, one of the top first 2 questions. The first one is, and what is the value of being rated in the app? What's the value of the like? At the end, the rating is just a like but with more information. So the answer for that question is the same. Why is it so important for people to like? Why it's been so important to like for Facebook, for Instagram, for TikTok? Why? Because of validation. Traditional likes are used to validate something or say that you like something. Rating is just an advanced like, okay? It's an advanced like that says exactly what you like and how much you like it. This is a real example, in fact. I post on Instagram a video and I received, I don't know, like 10 likes, let's say. I post the same video in a ski like. And the difference is that I receive a like with very specific feedback or information saying, hey, I liked that video, but specifically what I liked the most was your stance and balance. You're really good at stance and balance and curving. And you are not that good in reflexes, for example. So a rating system is the same as a like system, just with more information, specifically focused on skills. So why having this rating system? So that you could be aware of the perception that others had about your talent or your skills. And why is that? Because of ego. The need for validation, as we discussed before, right, is one of the top human needs. If you see the Maslow pyramid, you see that self-actualization and self-esteem is at the top psychological needs of human beings. Validation, that need that human beings have been chasing for their whole life. And knowing that specific like with that information about my skills, the tangible benefit is that users could take a specific actions to improve their skills or to show better their skills or just to interact with those people to make part of other groups for rational reasons or for emotional reasons, okay? Just to take specific actions. And the second question that potential investors ask us is, and what does it mean to democratize skills? You talk about democratizing skills, what's that? Let's go for, I will let you read this, but at the end, in our words, democratize skills means make skills available to all people, make it possible for all people to understand the skills, and people themselves vote and decide who is really skilled and not just a few. Rating system making entertaining is what is easily seen, let's say, by people, right? But what we want, and that's our vision, we want to democratize skills. It means we don't want that a few people say that I'm good at something. We want the world to say it, not just a few institutions or few people. We want the world, people all over the world can show all the activities, all the skills they have, and the same world says if it's good or not just a few institutions. And for those who want to live from those skills, we want to democratize the system of skill hunting too, not just a few institutions, and not that only very talented or smart people can reach contracts with skill hunters. We want that anyone who has skills and talent, you just show your talent. That's it. We will be in charge of highlight your talent, improve your talent, and we'll do the marketing by yourself. Don't worry, show your talent. We'll do the rest. That's it. And democratization of services, access to human life is one of the social-cultural and technological trends. There's no turning back. It's like internet, democratized information, Uber, transportation, Airbnb, also house living. You know about Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and now Skill Icon. Democratization is a global trend. I recommend you to read this book, written by Kevin Kelly. It is the best book to understand our current situation, actual and current trends and what are going to be the trends for the future. You have to read this book. And democratization is in the top mega trends behind the behavior of human beings. Thank you very much.